Good evening, everyone. Under the provisions of the Public Meeting Law of the State of Missouri, the board must adopt by roll call vote an agenda that includes the time, date, place, and tentative agenda for the meeting. A copy of the notice and agenda for this meeting was posted on Tuesday, May 9th, 2023, at the Administration Center, 8855 Dunn Road, Hazelwood, Missouri. At the same time, copies of the notice and agenda were sent to major radio and television stations, to 3 newspapers, to all municipalities and schools in the district, and posted on the district website. May I please get a recommendation to adopt the agenda as posted?
Second.
Call for the vote.
Dr. Powell Walker,
Yes.
Dr. Thurman, she is. Dr. Thurman? I'll come back. Mr. Tyson? Dr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
I vote yes. Dr. Thurman?
Dr. Thurman, can you hear us?
Doc-
She's moving on. I don't think so.
Can you guys hear us online?
No one's shaking their head.
Karen, Dr. Thurman, can y'all hear us?
Go ahead, let's go, just move forward.
Dr. Graves?
Yes. We have number 4, a consent agenda item, and this is for board action.
I move to approve consent with pulling off 4B for a separate consent item, please.
All right, so we're going to vote right now on everything besides B. Can I first get someone to,
Second.
second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call the vote, please.
No, it's voice.
Dr. Thurman?
Isn't it? I think it's that voice.
I don't know why I started.
I'm
Mr.
sorry, I can hardly hear you guys. What was the question?
We were voting on consent removing B, 4B.
No, approving.
Or approving.
For A, C, D, E,
Yes.
F, G.
Again, I didn't understand what you said.
So Dr. Martin made a motion to take out the personnel piece in the agenda, and we're going to vote on that separately. And so that's the motion right now.
Okay, the sound just came on right when you asked for the vote, so I didn't hear up to the rest of it. Thank you.
So the motion is to change the agenda, not to vote on the items, right?
No. We're voting on it. We're voting.
And my answer is yes.
You voted on 4A through C?
For it, and then we're going
You
to
made the motion to move it.
approve.
Okay,
Right,
gotcha,
got it.
gotcha.
Mr. Tyson? Dr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
I vote yes. Dr. Powell Walker?
Yes.
Dr. Graves?
Yes. Now may I get a motion to approve personnel consent agenda item B?
So moved.
Second. All right, Jillian, please call for the vote again.
Mr. Tyson? Dr. Martin?
Abstain.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
I vote yes. Dr. Powell Walker?
Yes.
Dr. Thurman?
Yes.
Dr. Graves?
Yes. Motion carries. Now we will have agenda item number 5, Ingenuity Virtual Learning Contract and Staffing.
Can you see the slide? No. Are you able to see it now? No. Okay. Good evening, Board of Education. Tonight, we do have a recommendation. The district administration recommends contracting with Edgenuity for the 23-24 school year for virtual learning. Your summary proposals are listed above. Proposal 1, we recommend to the board that Edgenuity become the provider for credit acquisition at the Wellness and Restoration Center, as well as for all MOCAP students and for credit recovery at all high schools in FFSD, with the projected cost $71,500. Proposal 2, we recommend to the board that Edgenuity is the provider of teachers for FFSD's application to become a DESE-approved virtual school application this fall, and with a projected cost of $251,500. And then thirdly, Proposal 3, we recommend to the board that Edgenuity provides teachers in high-need content areas to help alleviate staffing shortages.
All right, so can I please get a recommendation for proposal number 1 only?
So moved.
Second.
Any additional discussion?
Just want to clarify for the public in this way, all MOCAP just means those who choose to enroll that one, not all MOCAP, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I am not able to hear, so I may not be able to vote. I'm not hearing your comments.
It wasn't important, Donna.
Nor am I seeing the proposals.
Donna, are you okay with not voting?
No, I'm not okay with it. Don't have a choice.
No.
So
we're
Dr.
gonna give you
Thurman, what Dr. Martin's point was is that we would use Edgenuity for the MOCAP vendor for students who selected to go through MOCAP through us, not all MOCAP students. Parents could choose a different vendor, but if they're staying through us, they would go through Edgenuity.
Donna, did you need any further? Did you need further clarification?
Yeah. I'm good on that. I'm good. Hey, I'm gonna put you on speaker.
And so are there any additional questions? Dr. Thurman, did you have any questions?
Hold on.
No.
Okay. Did you have any other questions, Dr. Thurman?
No, thank you.
All right, let's call for the vote.
Dr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
I vote yes. Dr. Paul Walker?
Yes.
Dr. Thurman?
Yes.
Mr. Tyson? Dr. Graves?
Yes. Now, may I please have a recommendation for proposal number 2?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
So I got one quick question. So if number 2 is giving us the platform, why would that not cover proposal number 1? Why is those separate? I'm just,
We are using proposal number 1 in our brick and mortar schools with teachers in the classroom for credit recovery and credit acquisition,
okay,
which is a little bit of a different model.
gotcha, okay, thank you.
just for, what is the total projected cost for all support staff, everything for that projected model? Not just the 251, only covers the coursework, not the counselor and other people that you were addressing. So what's the total number? Because it's above 251.
Are you asking for a total number with projected staff?
Yes. What's the total cost of that proposal? Because if we didn't do it, we wouldn't need the other positions for that.
Well, at this time, we would be projecting using current staff postings for a coordinator position, which is, I'm not exactly sure what the salary ranges are for a coordinator position.
About
Do you wanna-
that- about-
is there-
About 100,000.
We don't have access to
100,000? A counseling position, which I think starts
That's
around,
fine, a counselor.
uh-huh,
yeah.
and then an office professional position.
You mean,
No, when you click on it, you can't, yeah. I'm sorry, we just don't have access to the documents on our Chromebooks. Sorry, so that's why I asked that question.
Okay.
Thank you. So it's essentially you're repurposing 3 additional staff positions. No
Correct.
new budgets, but repurposing
Correct.
other positions.
Yes.
Just
Mhm.
want to be very clear about that.
Yes.
And this is based, 251 is based on how many courses or what's that number? Where do you get that number from?
We based it on how many courses we purchased last year from our previous provider and used the cost that Edgenuity provided us for the per course cost,
Which is $250, right?
per course.
So about 1,000 courses total, to your point.
who has, who owns the actual document? Because I tried to click on it too, and are you the owner of the document, of the Edgenuity virtual learning contract and staffing?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
if you could,
So you want me to try to get into the folder and open it up for everybody?
yeah, because they need to see that.
I mean, I saw it before the meeting, but
But
whatever's.
in here, you can't access it. Did you? Oh, yeah. It won't show her, password though.
There's a box, a black box that's over the search bar right now. I'm waiting for it to go away here. Do you want me to give you access to this entire folder, or are you looking for one particular document inside of it?
You answered my question from that. That's why I didn't remember the number amount, but
Uh-huh.
for me, I don't need it. I don't know if others.
She's that far, so
We were just looking at the actual document that was in the agenda link.
It needs to be stored with board@fergfloor.org,
Yeah.
Yeah, just put in board,
because that's what we're logged into the Chromebook says.
yeah. And then hit,
And then, is that what you wanted on, editor?
no,
Just
just
viewer's fine.
viewable. Viewer, and then send.
Okay, here you go.
Okay, now try it again, folks. Gotta refresh, yeah.
Terry, no, you're there. No, it's a folder.
Okay, so now.
Joe,
Yes.
Dr. Davis,
Yes, ma'am.
are we trying to?
Okay, I just shared it.
While we're looking at this, did anyone else have any additional questions? And this is for number 2, agenda item.
Just abstain.
So Dr. Thurman still can't get it. Maybe you can put her name in versus board member.
She just did.
I did.
She just did that.
Did you hit refresh, Donna?
Yeah,
She did.
12 times.
She said
No,
12
I'm
times.
Are you asking her, is she able to see any of it?
Can you share the screen? Is Matt,
I am getting
Yeah.
the agenda,
If you can tell me what to open,
And I'm
I can
getting
open
the
up whatever it
proposals.
is that you want.
but when I go down and click on Ingenuity Virtual Learning Contract and Staffing under supporting links,
Oh, no, oh, no, it's not.
it's on
yeah,
number
I'm still
5.
getting, no, you need access.
Yeah, she still get that.
Where your mouse?
Don't, look, you all go ahead and
I had it.
But she sees some of it. That doesn't make sense if she can see some of the documents and not all of it.
Now,
Dr.
tell her to
Thurman, is
try
there
it
a certain
again.
document that she
Tell her-
wants to see?
Tell her to try it again.
Okay, they said try it again.
I see the proposal. Are you all looking at, I thought you were looking at the personnel, the cost and the,
I was just asking Dr. Thurman, what was the additional cost, and it's in the slide deck, I believe, of how much the principal would be and all that, but there are 3 positions that are repurposed that are in addition to the 251, but they're already in the budget regardless. So the new cost is 251,000, which isn't really a new cost, because that's what they spent this year on Edmentum anyways.
Right, and it's less than.
Right, but that's what they already spent in the budget technically.
Right. All right, so let's go ahead and vote.
Mr. Bailey?
Yes.
I vote yes. Dr. Paul Walker?
Yes.
Dr. Thurman?
yes.
Mr. Tyson?
Yes.
Dr. Martin?
Yes.
Dr. Graves?
Yes, and now we have proposal 3. May I please get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I was just wondering if you could help me to understand what that classroom would look like, where Edgenuity is providing teachers, what that might look like.
So the way that I envision it is that the facilitator would be assigned to a school or maybe travel between two schools. They would be assigned a classroom. They would be the essentially the homeschool teacher for those students. The students would go into that classroom every day during their assigned class schedule time. And during that time, they would be working through the Edgenuity platform. However, there would also be times scheduled where the teacher of record would be zooming into the room and would be providing students with one-on-one feedback, information about their grades, perhaps going over like a reteach or something that the class as a whole is not understanding well. And then they are a Missouri certified teacher who's responsible for keeping the grade, recording the attendance, and being the official teacher of record and the one who awards the credit at the end. I also found out when we met with DESE in regards to becoming a virtual school that we would be responsible for evaluating those teachers and submitting that through the Missouri system of teacher evaluation, which is part of the reason why we have to have that staff on our team who's dedicated to the virtual school.
And so just so I understand, the teachers who we'd be able to bring in for those high need content areas, they will be a part of the virtual school with our positions that would be repurposed for a virtual school. So if that's the case, would we not be able to utilize Edgenuity as teachers in those high needs areas until we are a virtual school? So
You
until
kind of
second
lost me
semester.
at the very
So
end.
would we be able to utilize those teachers first semester, or do we have to wait until second semester since they would be under
Yeah.
the direction
Oh,
of
I see.
principal?
Immediately.
No, we can use them starting first semester.
Right.
And all students in a classroom would be in the same content area, or it would be different content areas?
It's almost like a lab, but, you know, certainly because we have Chromebooks, then, you know, if 25 of us went into a classroom with a facilitator, you could have 25 different students on a session, right? And you would have to have the tools, right? You know, technology, headphones, anything that could support them learning in that particular content. So, you know, it would be immediate because we could start that at first semester versus the virtual school approval through DESE. So yes, that's the way I would see it, similar to what Dr. Crawford just said. Or like when we had computer labs and students would go in that lab and get support, right? So it would be the same. Okay. And it could be students on various different courses because they would be working specifically with the teacher. Now let's just say if you had 5 students on Algebra 2 with the same teacher. My sense is that you could probably have, I don't know, Casey maybe can answer that question, but I guess we'd have to work our way through figuring out if we had, 20 students at one time who were Algebra 2, right? So that teacher still would teach all those students. It sounds like what she said earlier was we'd have to, because we're a larger district, we would have to set that up early so that we can have that, because that would have to be done at the beginning of the semester anyway, right? Does that make sense? So I don't think there's a linear answer. There's a lot of different ways because you have so many different students accessing it. But what it would do, I think to your question, would give us immediate access first semester to getting that support for students who may not have a teacher in a particular content area that we don't have a teacher for. And then the MOCAP piece wouldn't be until second semester.
And my colleague Jennifer just sent me a good note. One of the differences between, say, having the student take the class on campus in the brick and mortar school with their classmates, as opposed to taking it through MOCAP by just registering for a MOCAP class, is that all of the students in that class would be FFSD students, McClure North students in that class together, as opposed to if they went out into the MOCAP realm of virtual learning exclusively, then they would be in there with other students from other places, et cetera. So it's kind of like being able to maintain the brick and mortar school community while also having momentary access to the virtual learning piece to fulfill this one need.
Okay, thank you. My final question is just what grade bands would proposal number 3 hit? Service.
6 through 12. Yep.
Terry, did you have a question? Dr. Paul Walker?
No.
Dr. Martin?
Thank you. To kind of go off, Jillian, I know we had a brief conversation. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. So for this, I think this is a common practice that I've seen even before COVID, before teacher shortages were even a bigger thing of, particularly if there's a class that Edgenuity might offer, I'll say, and I don't know, the Japanese. They might offer Japanese 3. And there's 2 kids who need it, so you don't hire a teacher, so you have them in the school building, they work on their Edgenuity, and there may be someone who is obviously teacher record because we don't offer Japanese, but a kid wants Japanese, and we're going to say, okay, we're going to give it to you. So we hire Edgenuity to have a teacher record who checks in with the kid. This is not, I just want to be clear, direct instruction every day of class. It's more checkpoints with a live teacher who's certified in that subject area, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I think it definitely is needed, particularly I'm sure Spanish, world language classes are probably really hard. Obviously band, you're probably not going to have a band or orchestra class like that. Maybe some computer courses or unique.
Right. It works for some things better than others, for sure.
So I guess to me, if we pass this, I would ask that we communicate with all families who would be impacted to let them know this is how the model will work. If you don't want because some people say, I don't want my kid just sitting on a Chromebook and having someone in the room. I would rather have them take this elective and there's space in this class, that they are given an option prior to the start of the school year and notified to opt to a different course so we don't run into neighboring districts' problems that parents said they did not know ahead of time and they walked in. So I think for me, if that's one ask, I would say that we make sure we do just before school, everyone gets a letter, not even an email, I'd say a letter, so they can't come back and say they didn't get it. And we know if it came back to us that says, here's what's going to happen, here's what it's going to look like. If you don't want, here are your options based on sizes currently where we can offer you to go. Would be
Understood.
one of my, I don't know what other board members feel about that too. The other thing is Courtney asked me, because we think alike, does Edgenuity offer reading specialist and reading specialist courses to help our need of reading specialists?
They do.
Got it. So. Got it. So it is possibly a solution for that as well, of offering some students with reading support. I do think number 3, obviously, I also want to be clear to the other board members because they might not have had it as I was walking down the stairs. It's $250 per student per course, just so we all know the cost, because there's no cost with that. So we don't know what the cost would be because you don't know how many classes you're going to have to do it.
Correct.
Plus, of course, to Jillian's point, the teacher facilitator cost will
Right.
depend on how many sections and
Right.
all that.
With the counterbalance of not filling the position, which is in the budget.
Correct. I think that answers all my questions and asks, to just be clear, because I think Jillian had a lot of points in workshop that made me think of, I didn't even think about before, particularly what we read in the newspaper this past year.
Dr. Thurman, any questions?
No.
All right, all voices have been heard. Call for the vote.
I vote aye. Dr. Paul Walker?
Aye.
Dr. Thurman?
Aye.
Mr. Tyson? And Dr. Martin?
Aye.
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
Dr. Graves?
Aye, motion carries. May I please get a motion to adjourn to close?
Second.
Call for the vote.
Dr. Paul Walker?
Thank you.
Yes.
Dr. Thurman?
Yes.
Mr. Tyson?
Yes.
Dr. Martin?
Aye.
Mr. Bailey?
Aye.
I vote yes. Dr. Graves?
Aye. Thank you so much, Dr. Crawford.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. It was complicated, and I'm happy that we got through it.